Hello and welcome to my channel. Recently I've been making my own electric scooter and I have encountered a very specific problem. I don't want to talk about that too much in this video since I intended it to be short. If you are interested in specifics, wait for my DIY scooter video. Namely, I wanted to convert a normal tire to a tubeless solid one. And as usual, I've started my own research, checking what options I have. The most popular and the most common method on the YouTube was filling up the tire with some type of construction foam. I've quickly realized that this isn't going to work in my case. Not to mention, foam inside the tire doesn't live very long. Sooner or later it's going to deform. What other options are there, you might ask? Is it even possible? And yes, there is. There are some industrial filling chemicals that work great even for big machines like excavators. However, they're either very hard to get, especially in small quantities, or they are very expensive. It makes sense for excavators since those machines basically make money, but in my case, off-the-shelf solid tires of a size 200x50 are relatively cheap. So why am I even bothering trying to make my own solid tire? Well, the short answer is for science. I wanted to see if it could be done cheaply. I found an inspirational video about the guy who made an entire tire out of the hot glue, and this sparked the idea in my head. If a hot glue tire works, it also should be possible to fill a rubber tire with it. Needless to say, it's not as simple as just trying to manually feed it. You also need to spread it evenly. And this is where centrifugal force comes into the play. I strapped my tire to a drill, started pouring the hot glue inside, and after pulling trigger a couple of times, I used the drill to spread it evenly inside. This process took me around 1 hour and about half kilo of hot glue. From the effort alone, I would say it's already not worth it economically. My fingers hurt and it was really easy to get myself burned. But I have decided to continue until the glue starts to overfill. Then I switched to a hot gun and started to heat up the inside to spread them evenly, while removing the excess until a nice round shape was formed. This process also took me about 1 hour, so for 2 hours total. When I was done, I used my 3D printed 2 pieces of a rim to clamp it inside, making sure it fits tightly. Of course, this wasn't the end. There were still some extras of hot glue left on the rim that had to be removed, so I repeated the process. Then the tire was complete. As for the quality, I would say it's pretty good. I've tested it on the road and it behaves just like a normal tire filled with air. It's a little stiff. I would compare it to something like 3 bars. But totally usable. I'm also very sure it shouldn't degrade over time, at least not as fast as construction foam. Was it worth it? No. If you can get a solid tire for let's say 20 to 30 bucks, it's not worth it. While a hot glue wasn't expensive by itself and its overall price was let's say 5 bucks, the amount of time it was needed to make it easily exceeded 2 hours. I made a mess on my floor in the process, burned my finger, which technically is my own fault, but you know, when you're working with hot materials it can happen. So it's not exactly super safe, and even if you're wearing gloves. The bigger the tire you want to make, the more hot glue you will need, so I would say the sane limit would be something like tire for your bicycle. Although I wouldn't recommend it because of the safety reasons. However, this is very useful for small tires like, for example, wheelbarrows. Or in case you cannot get a solid tire, or it's really expensive, for example, if it has a custom size. That being said, if you need it for something that should be really stable, again, don't recommend it. Because even if you're very careful with spreading it around, there is also a chance that at the end some part will expand, making it not balanced perfectly. If it's going to be strapped on something that's going to exceed 20 km per hour, I wouldn't recommend it due to vibration it's going to produce. You could speed up this process by melting hot glue inside the pot, but then again it may prove difficult to fill the tire afterwards. The guy in the inspirational video did it because he wanted to have LED strips inside his tire. In my case, it wouldn't be even possible since rubber isn't translucent. Would I do it again? No, not unless I absolutely had to. This will be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in comments down below what do you think about this idea. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button. It will help me to get motivated to do more videos in the future.